Okay, our shiur b'ezras Hashem Yitbarach is L'Refuat Shlema Yehuda Hashem Yishlach L'Refuat Shlema B'chal Kol Cholei Amo Yisrael, a very precious Yid. Unfortunately, he had cardiac arrest, and a certain Yid, it doesn't matter. And Hashem should bless him with a speedy refuah. Young guy with a lot of kids. So, Amen. All our Torah should be, we shouldn't do it likabel sachar, chas v'shalom. We should do it just for the sake of L'Hashem Yichud Kushar B'Chush Shchinteh, and for the sake of that Kal Yisrael should be b'atzlacha gedolah. That's all we want to do, and it's all we want to see in our lives, right? Amen. Before I start, whatever I just said reminded me of a story. One time the Baal Shem Tov, that's how the story goes. I don't take any responsibility for the story, but it's one of my favorite stories about the Baal Shem Tov. He was once, it shows the spirit of Chassidus, the story. One time he was sitting, I'm sure if you guys have been in Williamsburg, this and that, once in a while you see there's a snuff box they have when they smell the tobacco, the good smelling tobacco, whatever, They like doing it on the Friday nights. Yeah? Good. One time I didn't know what it was, so I did it a bit too strong. I thought I got a cold. I was sneezing for like 10 minutes straight. Anyway, so they have that, it's good smelling, So one time, the Baal Shem Tov had one. He had a snuff box. And he was smelling it, and he had such kaif from it, the story goes. He had such hit urus from it, And then afterwards he sighs. And he had a student called Rabbi Ze'ev. I can't pronounce the last name. He's buried right next to him, Rabbi Ze'ev. He was also his sofer. He says, Rabbi, what happened? He said, I just heard from Shamayim, a karoz, a herald that said, because you enjoyed from this world too much, you lost your chelek le'olam haba. And then right after that, it was Kabbalat Shabbat, and he sees his Rebbe davening with fervor and with all the... Ever been by the Baal Shem Tov's base medrash in Mezhebush? I've been there. I davened there once. Yeah, I davened there. It's still there. It's still, I think it was destroyed and it was rebuilt.
That's how we drink milk.
Yeah, you were there with us too.
Milk.
No, that's not where we drink the milk. It was different, but yeah. So I was there, and so his student Rabbi Ze'ev asked him, he says, Rebbe, you just heard you have no chelek olam haba. He's like, that's exactly what I was waiting for, to serve Hashem, knowing that I don't have to get any sachar. Now I could really serve Hashem. You heard the story before? Yeah. You heard the story before. I can't surprise this guy. And so you see, the reason of you serving Hashem is not like it's a very high level, obviously. You can say whatever you say, but at the end of the day, you know what you want. But the great tzaddikim, they serve Hakadosh Baruch Hu lo al ma'an lekabel sachar, and it's not even it's not a chiddush. It's in Pirkei Avot, right? What is Pirkei Avot? Antignos ish socho omer al tiyu ka'avadim המשמשים את הרב על מנת לקבל שכר. Be like avadim המשמשים את הרב שלא על מנת לקבל שכר. And it's very hard for people to comprehend such an idea. How do I serve somebody without getting anything in return? Don't I need an incentive? I need an incentive, That's the whole machlok between capitalism and communism. If I don't have any reason to go to work, why should I go to work? Right? That's what communism is, right? I work for you. Why should I go to work? Maybe I want to call it a day out sick, right? Capitalism says, no, you need an incentive. What's that incentive? Personal wealth. Parnasa, you're parnasa, right? But the tzaddikim, they always looked at it that I want to make sure that everything that I do is l'shem Yehud Kuchar B'Shideh, and I don't even want any sachar from it, anything that comes out of that. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. I hope you guys will find it interesting tonight. Before tonight's shiur, we had a small Rosh Chodesh party, and I said, listen, I'm toasted. I can't give a shiur tonight. Plus my wife was going to Brooklyn. I said, nobody's going to watch the kid. I'm going to stay home. And then I said to myself, Torah lilmod ani tzarich. And I had some chidushim come to my head from the Ari, from the Al Sheikh, from the Chalban. And I said, listen, let's share it. Yeh ma sheyeh, And Baruch Hashem, I'm very happy that I'm here tonight. And we're sharing our Torah. And, I'll tell you a little secret. What's one of my secrets? I'm not a good speaker. But I'll tell you a secret of mine, which, whatever. So, one of my secrets is to my speeches, to the Torah that I say, is that before I daven, before I give the shiur, I always daven. Right? And I almost 99.9% of the time, I'm the chazan. And in Shema Koleinu, I always make sure to say, Hashem Yitbarach, I'm about to give a shiur Torah, I don't want any safar. For what I'm about to say, everything should be the Shem Yechud B'Shar B'Shkhin for the Shekhinah, the Akawash K'machra. I don't want any safar from what I'm about to say. Just please make sure that Torah should go to the right heart, to the right person, and it should awaken the person's heart to do teshuvah, come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a small secret, whatever I'm going to reveal to you guys today. It's Adar Bet. It's a very rare month. It's the Peh. I told you guys this last week, right? Every month is another part of the head. But it's only once every couple of years that you have the Peh. The power of the Peh, that's Adar Bet.
Yeah,
the power of the Peh. What's connection to what? To what?
Who was born on something.
Whoever's born on Adar Bet, he has to watch his mouth, yeah. So, maybe it means that when he says something, it will come true if he really wants it. And that's something also I want to speak today. Purim is coming up, and before we're going to get to the Al-Shech HaKadosh, and the Chalban, and a couple of nice Kiddushim in the Megillah, I hope you guys will enjoy it. I want to say, Purim is coming, and the Ari says Purim is a Chiddush. I want to explain to you what's the Chiddush of Purim. I know a lot of you guys here will understand me, some of you won't, but I'm still going to do it anyways. What's the Chiddush of Purim? First of all, what's Purim, right? Okay, let's look at the word, for example. Purim. Right? Yeah, Pei, Reish, Yud, and a Mem. Huh? Let's go with how it's written in the Megillah. Let's go how it's written in the Megillah. Yud and a Mem, right? If you could get me another, where is he? It's in the closet, the first closet over there. Yeah. Pei, Reish, first or second closet. Pei, Reish, Yud, and a Mem. Okay? So first of all, you look at Purim. That power. Oh, you see, that's what I like to hear already. I really like to hear that. I see you doing that kavanah in the morning. I pay attention.
Which one?
Par, mansapach. Right? It's on your. So you see, right away you see par. Right? Par is, what did I teach you guys? There's 5 gevurot. There's 5 gevurot. This you could
retire.
There's 5 gevurot. Right? Par. Right? Purim. Yemei Purim Hazeh. You have Pei Reish is what? Man Tzafach. I taught you guys this many times. There are 5 letters in the Aleph Bet that they're the source of all the Gvurot. Right? And they're not the Sofits actually. They're the middle ones. It's a common misconception. I know where you're coming from, but I'm talking according to the Rashash. Okay? So Man Tzafach is this. This is Man Tzafach. Okay? These letters, if you have this letter in your name, any of these letters, you should know your name holds Gevurot Kashot. Okay? Gevurot Kashot. Mem. The middle mem, not the end mem. The middle one, not the end. Huh? Exactly. Mordechai, exactly. That's a secret in Mordechai. Amalek is in his name. He fought Amalek. Gematria Amalek. Anyways, whatever. I don't want to get into that right now. I just want to explain the whole Purim, just the tip. The whole idea of Purim, and I'm telling why it was a Chiddush. Because really, the Ari says, Purim is not such the ha'ara that comes out of Purim. Shabbos is 10 times greater. Pesach is 10 times greater. But there's a Chiddush in Purim. There's a Chiddush over there. I'm going to explain it to you guys tonight. Hopefully you guys understand me. I'm going to work with it. And maybe I read something from the Chalban, and we're going to try to do something different this Purim and really try to, because this year is a very special Purim. It's Adar Bet. It's something, auspicious. Yeah, it's auspicious, exactly. So you have the Mansabah, and what's the Yam? Yam. What's Yam? Remember we learned in Shari Ora, Yam is another name for the Malchut, right? The Shekhinah, Malchut. The last Sphira is the Malchut, but also Yam is 50, right? 50. And there's how many gates of Bina? 50 gates of Bina. And we know that the source of the Mansabah comes from the Bina, Gabriel, right? It means Purim is a action-generated lahavdil. It's an action-generated motion picture. And it is. If you look at all the holidays, you sit down, you eat with your family, but Purim, people are getting drunk, you're going out, you're giving to people, you're trying to, there's always that guy who's trying to make peace with that guy he hasn't spoken to in 2 years. So he's thinking, should I give him Mishloach Manot? Should I not give him Mishloach Manot? Kippurim, Yom Kippurim, right? It's like, Yom Kippur is like Purim, You want to give him the Mishloach, but you're ashamed, will he accept it, you know what I'm saying? Usually you want to give it, but you don't know if the other side is going to be he's going to accept. What's it called? Receptive. He's going to be receptive to it. So you don't know, should you give, should you not give? So Purim is a lot of din over there, but at the same time there's a lot of action going on over there. I know many times, I wanted to give Mishloach one of the people, and I wasn't sure were they be receptive. Not that I hurt them, maybe they thought that I did. But I still wanted to give it to them, and there's always that safek over there, that safek, that Amalek inside you. Should you give? Should you not give? But it's always better to give than to not, and always try to be open-hearted and to be close-hearted. Likavetz, to close yourself up. And but you see, the source of the yam is the bina, and from the bina comes the mansapach itself. So you have an action-packed holiday, which isn't even a holiday. Mordechai, I told you guys this last week, he called it a Yom Tov, but the Anshe Knesset Agdola, which we're going to talk about it today, 120 men of the Great Assembly, they waited 1 year, and they didn't agree with Mordechai. They said it's not a Yom Tov, and I'm going to explain to you guys why, Bezrat Hashem, with your permission. But it's my Hidush. So I don't take responsibility for it. So the Purim is it's a Yom Shel Dinim, but now what's good about Dinim? So everybody's against Dinim. Everybody always wants to be what? Chesed. So I'm going to teach you guys a Chidush today, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's a bit of something that you don't always reveal, but I'm going to say it to you guys anyways, because Mishin Nichlas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. So I'll tell you something interesting. Says Rabbeinu Ha'ari, there is a very, very sad story in the Torah with two very great men that were higher than Moshe and Aaron, and Nadav and Avihu. Thank you. And they were very, very special people, and they're the Neshama of Eliyahu Hanavi, Rabbi Chaim Vital, Shmuel Hanavi. They're very, very high level people, and they died very tragically. And the Zohar says if you cry whenever you hear their death, Avonotcha mitchaprin. It's a Zohar. We actually read it in Yom Kippur, Purim, Yom Kippur. Who are these two people? Nadav and Avihu, the sons of Aharon. Okay? Nadav and Avihu were two sons of Aharon. On the day of the inauguration of the Mishkan HaEdut, they come and they bring Ketoret, a certain kind of incense, very, very specific incense. You have to know how to make it. There's a special thing you put in there, esef, that makes it gold thing. It was a formula, and they brought it in a not right time. And they died, bisrefa, esh yatza, and they were burnt completely on the inside. And Aharon, Vayidom Aharon, and Mishael and El Tzafan take their bodies out. It was a big balagan. Imagine on the day of a person's wedding, his brother takes a gun and sends himself to Olam Haba. It was worse than that. Yeah. That's a nice lahavdil. That's a nice example. This is, could you imagine? It's not you opening up a shul. You're opening up Hashem's house, the tikkun of the egel, and the two great leaders that are supposed to lead us after, they just, like, it's a chilul Hashem. It's like, Hashem is like, everybody's like, how? They're supposed to be how could Hashem? It means Hashem is not happy with us. That means it was a good thing on the side of the Jewish people. They should have been like, listen, now let's make another egel. You kill them, let's make it, and Am Yisrael, no, bikrovai ekadesh. They saw it as a kiddush Hashem. Very weird. It's something that we should talk about in Parshat Shmini, B'ezrat Hashem. Remind me, maybe we'll talk about it. How come Am Yisrael didn't go against Hashem when Nadav and Avihu died? They should have, Al Panav, right? If Moshe is gone for 40 days, they're already making agalim. If Nadav and Avihu die in the inauguration, Hashem doesn't want me, Hashem this, Hashem that. But no, they didn't do that. Bikrovaya Kadesh. Hashem says, no, I was Mikadesh Shem Shamayim, but they're dead. So I'm explaining to you something very interesting. And it's going to explain to you what Purim is and why a Purim is a chidush. Not that it's a high level, but it's a chidush. So we know there is 5 systems. Arich, Abba, Ima, Zainot. Right? Keter, Chokhmah, Bina, 6 Sfirot, and the Malchut. Correct? We spoke about this many times. For Za, which is the 4th system, to grow, it needs mochin. It needs power from Chokhmah and Bina, Abba and Ima. Just like you're a son of your parents, and to grow up, who needs to raise you? Your parents, right? If your parents don't raise you, where are you going to get the experience? So too, in the upper worlds, we're just a mirror of the upper worlds. For you to grow up, you need that extra shefa. I told you guys this story many times. There was this guy, Shah Jahan. He was a Mughal emperor in India. In India. He was Muslim. He decided he wanted to know what's the human being's first language. I'm going to put them in a building, and I'm just going to see how they're going to start talking. 4, 5, 6 years, nobody says a peep, like a monkey. Ooh, ah. Why is that? To learn a language, you need mochin, you need to be taught, you need to be experienced by your parents. Somebody has to tell you, apple, abba, ima. You understand? Somebody has to teach you it. Same thing with Torah, right? Or to be an apprentice in something, to learn, right? You have to be taught by a master. You know? You have to learn Gemara. You have to know how to learn Gemara. This is a Kal Vachomer. This is a Gzera Shava. Rav was the student of Rabbi Chia. Shmuel was at the same time as Rav. When Rav argues with Shmuel, this is an Isurim we go according to. You have to know there's rules you have to learn. You can't just jump in the Gemara. You're not gonna know anything. You need to be taught. So you need mochin, correct? Says the Ari, the mochin, the power that the system that needs to grow gets from the father and from the mother are both equally important. But there is a plus in the left side over the right side. What's the plus in the left side over the right side? Hashem says, I created my world to be revealed. Chokhmah only gets revealed through Bina. You get it? That means the right side, the father, you ever see a guy going to a restaurant? He sends his wife, you make the order, he goes, the woman is the talkative one. You do it. You fight for the tuition. He doesn't want to speak. You know what I mean? Because siyag lechokhmah, shtika. He doesn't want to. He's a rosh katan. You know what I mean? Who has the revealment? Who? The Bina. The Bina reveals Hashem. The left column reveals Hashem. The Ima, Chokhmah, Bina, and Da'at, right? Da'at needs to grow, but Da'at won't grow without Chokhmah and Bina. But the way that Da'at grows is Chokhmah has to go inside Bina and then goes inside the Da'at. Together. But what's the plus on the Bina over the Chokhmah? What's the plus? It's responsible for the revealment. It's responsible for the showing. Chokhmah doesn't show itself. Abba doesn't show itself. Why? Kol Yamai, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says in Pirkei Avot, all my life I grew by the Chachamim, lo matzati laguf tov ela shtika. Chokhmah is Rosh Katan. He wants to be silent, but if you're silent, how am I going to know what you are? So who pushes the guy to reveal himself? Bina. The Bina, the wife, right? Go work, go make it. Do something, build something, If it wasn't for his wife, what would he do all his life? He would live in a cubicle. He would have a toilet, a sink, a stove, a refrigerator, and whatever he needs over there.
Men don't need much.
Men don't, exactly, that's the whole point. What causes them to grow? The bina. I'm telling you guys, what I'm teaching you guys right now is the basis of all Shara Kavanot. All Shara Kavanot is based on this idea. That means Chokhmah, Abba, without bina, cannot grow. Because he doesn't want to grow. Even though he's the lithium battery over there, but the electricity that pushes him is bina, right? So that's why Hashem says, you're Chokhmah, you're the Abba. But without bina, you don't have pru'urvu. So how are you revealing yourself? And Hashem says, the whole reason I created this world was to what? To reveal myself. So what happened? The essence of Torah is not bina. It's chokhmah. That's why the more silent the student is, the more he knows. Right? You guys heard this, right? Istara belagina kish kish karya. You guys ever heard that? If you have a cup, you put a couple of coins in there, you do it makes a lot of noise. Right? But when it's full, it doesn't make a lot of noise, right? You guys ever heard that, right? Istara belagina karya. Right? So when you have a guy who likes to talk too much, you know inside there's only a couple of marbles over there. It's not that. That's why he's making so much noise. When he's full, he doesn't like to talk too much because he's full of chokhmah. Correct? But what happens? Hashem doesn't want you just to be chokhmah. He wants you to reveal it. Nadav and Avihu came from Sfirat HaBinah. They were the reveal. They were the Ktoret. They were the revealment of God. Who were their chokhmah? Their brothers. Elazar and Itamar. They were supposed to, Ari says, they were supposed to tell their brothers, come join us. But what happens when you're too hot-headed, when you want to reveal too much, and you don't have a stop? You burn out. And that's exactly what happened to them. But Hashem says, Bikrovai Kadesh. That's exactly what I want Am Yisrael to learn. Bikrovai Kadesh. Don't be too quick. If you have a job to reveal me, don't be too quick. Learn to join the other side with you. Okay? It's a process, right? Now, if the Bina was Nadav and Avihu, and the Chokhmah was who? Elazar and Itamar. But we know there is a 3-column system. Hope I'm not going too deep tonight. There is right, left, and middle. So that means if you're high above, you're Chokhmah, Bina, and Dat. If you're in the middle, you're Chesed, Gevurah. If you're a bit lower, you're what? Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. So Nadav and Avihu were Netzach and Hod. 2 brothers that are not separated. That's why when you daven, you have to put your legs together. To show that the Netzach and the Hod are 2 brothers that don't want to be separated, like 2 cherubs. The cherubs on the Kruvim, they have to be face to face, like they're not separated. But they're from the Bina. Elazar and Itamar were also Netzach but of Chokhmah. Who was the Yesod? Not just Aharon, also Moshe. Moshe and Aharon were the Yesod. So that's why when the Midrash says that Nadav and Avihu said, when are these 2 old guys going to die and we're going to take their place, they did a very big Aveira. Because Netzach and Hod can't have a revelation, cannot reveal itself without the Yesod. How are you saying that? Now they're right, they're supposed to take the revealment of Hashem to the next level. But without their help, they can't be successful. And that was their mistake. And how do we know they were too much of it? If you would look at Nadav and Avihu, they would be like those rabbis inside the yeshiva that they were dancing and they would just show Hashem. Who was very close to them? Their Gilgul, Rabbi Akiva. What does the Gemara say about Rabbi Akiva? When he used to daven alone, you would find him on one side of the room and you would see him in the other. Why? Why was he like that? Some rabbis, like they say about the Rivnitzer Rebbe, when he used to daven, he would barely move. You wouldn't see him move. Like an Amud Esh. Lozaz. But some people, when they die, they have to... You can't blame them. Their neshama comes from the Gvura. They need to move. They need to show their essence. Some people, they can be focused like a sargel, You know, they have to be the chokhmah. It's called midat chokhmah. He doesn't need it. He's b'shtika. He does his avodah b'shtika. He doesn't need to move too much. So, but the essence of Hashem is to combine the both of them. Rabbi Akiva was bina. How did he die at the end? We don't want to say. Right? His head was like things that you don't find anywhere else. Like Mamash, the most terrible out of all 10 of them. He was the most terrible. Mamash combed it like and saying Shema Yisrael at the same time. And he wanted it. Rabbi Akiva, he wanted it because he knew his essence. Kach Allah b'mach. He knew who his Rosh Neshama was. It's not something that we could relate to. I'll be honest with you. Now, how does this relate to Purim? Says Rabbeinu Ha'ari, Sfatayim Mishak. Torah shebichtav is the yesod of Abba, of Chokhmah, but that's Moshe Rabbeinu. But that's only Torah shebichtav. Shebichtav. There is another guy, he's also going to be Moshe Rabbeinu. And he has to be the yesod of Abba, but he's going to be the revealment of Torah Sheba'al Peh. No. Mordechai. So you have Moshe, he's the yesod of Chokhmah, and you have Mordechai, he's also the yesod of Chokhmah. How come this one is the written Torah and this one is the oral Torah? How come? Why the difference? In their essence, they're the same. Mordechai and Moshe, they're the same. In their essence, they're both Yesod of the Chokhmah. They're both the revealment of the Torah. B'shtika. The whole Megillah is called after who? Esther, not even Mordechai, because he's b'shtika, he's the Chokhmah. Who's the revealment? That's the answer, Esther. Moshe is the revealment of the Torah through the fourth system, which is Zah. Zer and Pete, from Chesed until Yesod. From Chesed until Yesod. That's why he's connected the fourth system, which is what we call Zah. Zah has a Yesod. So the Yesod of the Chokhmah goes right at the tip of the Yesod of Zah. And you never see Moshe. That's why nobody knows where he's buried till today. He took Shtika to the next level. You don't even know where he's buried. We know where Aharon is buried. We know where we don't know where he's buried. But Mordechai, he's the revealment of the Torah in the Shekhinah. And the Shekhinah doesn't have a Yesod. So what happens? It's a Malchut. So what happens to the Yesod of Abba? It sticks out. And that's the secret. ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך בלבוש מלכות עטרת זהב. Mordechai went out from the Malchut. He revealed himself. That's why we can't be a nation that just learns the written Torah. You can't. How do you wear tefillin? How do you put a mezuzah? How do you do a brit milah? You don't know how to do these things. What's the revealment of the Torah? Mordechai. You get it?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're not getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
I'm getting goosebumps. I learn this maybe 20,000 times a month. I'm still getting goosebumps. Mordechai is the revealment of the Torah. It's the revealment of Esther. He's the revealment. How did he do it? How did he reach this level of nishama? How did he do it? Such things like, you could learn it in the Shara Kavanot and everything, but you'll miss the essence. You have to really, when you learn it, you have to live it. That's why some Chachamim say, it's not in the Ari, I'll be honest with you, but I like it. Some Chachamim say you have to learn Torah on the night of Purim. Like you gotta sit down and learn Gemara, learn why. What's the essence of Purim? Torah Sheba'al Peh. That's why the Midrash says, the Gemara says, they accepted upon themselves Torah Sheba'al Peh. What do you mean take some of that? They had Zechariah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, had all the 120 men of the Great Assembly. Who are those? How come 120 men of the Great Assembly, guys? How many men? Mordechai was part of a very elite group of people called the 120 men of the Great Assembly, also known as what? Anshe Knesset Hagdolah. Today we have two Knessets, also 120 people, that they're the klipa of this. Can anybody tell me who they are? There's two. Huh? Who are they? In Israel, there's 120 people inside the Knesset. What's the second one? Wait, what's it called?
The Senate.
Huh? The Senate. The Senate. Did you guys know the Senate has exactly 120 men?
No.
120 people. Not
Again,
men, but...
Again, they took from us.
Did you know that Benjamin Franklin wanted to put on the first coin, Moshe splitting the sea? Do you know that the official language of America was supposed to be Hebrew?
How does that even make sense?
These were evangelical kritmachs
And the dollar was
that they believed in
trust.
God, and they saw themselves as the second coming of Yoshka. America was supposed to be the second coming. It was supposed to be the experiment that works. Till today, what do they call America? An experiment. Donald Trump goes up the other day, he says, don't call it an experiment. You know who Donald Trump is? He's Esav himself. He's Esav. What do you think he is? He's red. He believes that red, white, and blue. He's Esav himself. What do you mean? The good of Esav. Depends. I don't know. We'll see what happens when he wins. Which is what it looks like. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Who cares? But the point is, Rabbi Yisai, we have a very big klipa over here, which is Erev Rav, and we have the Knesset. Both 120 men. They modeled that after, you can check me if I'm wrong. Check me. Test me. After the 120 men of the Great Assembly. How come they were 120 men? Here's the kasha. What's with this number 120? Now, this is very connected to Nadav and Avihu and the Bina and the revealment. Now we're going to also explain how come the mitzvah on Purim is the libasume bayayin. How yayin connects to all of this and how to, when they drink. I'm sure you guys could already put two and two together. When do you reveal yourself? When you're a bit intoxicated, right? How do you take the thing out? How do you take it out? You know, and you let it out, you know? The Chalban says a person shouldn't get drunk on Purim. He has to drink until the point where he's not ashamed to dance in front of people. I like that.
Yeah.
It's good? Yeah. I like it. Yes, usually people are very nervous, you know, he's dancing, but you drink libasume, and then you have no shame. But b'kedusha. The Gemara says, in Megillah, it says Achashverosh and his pals were drinking. What do they start talking about first thing? Who has the prettiest women? This one said Persian, this one said Madai, this one said whatever. He said, no, Bavel. Bring her out. She was ready to come out, by the way, the Gemara says. Am I right or wrong? The Gemara says she was fully ready. But of course, our favorite angel, Malach Gabriel, came and decided to do a little artwork. Put her a little pimple and a little tail. By the way, it was all in her head. It was all in her head. It was a hallucination. She thought she had it. But really, she was fine. That's why the guy got so crazy when he said, why are you not coming out? Yeah, she said, I'm ready to, I'll wear the tightest clothes, I'll do whatever you want, but I can't go out like this. He's like, no, but Keter Malchut, you gotta come out. But she hallucinated so strong. And you know what was the reason why Hashem punished her like that? This Vashti, Mahshama Bat Zichra, the granddaughter of Nebuchadnezzar, she had a very, very evil, she was very sadistic. She liked to make Jewish girls work for her on Shabbat, Beketer Malchut. She used to degrade them, lahavdil. She said, Beketer Malchut, I'm going to take you out also. Beketer Malchut, let's see how you're going to go. And Baruch Hashem, she found her demise. That's why we say at the end of the Megillah, Arur Hama, Arura Zeresh Uvashti. Arura Zeresh Uvashti. Berucha Esther. Beruchim Kol HaZadikim. Man, so let's go to the 120. Let's go back to the 120. What's the secret to the 120?
We say 120, that's Mordechai, huh?
Yeah, there is a sigula to say 120 times Baruch Mordechai. Baruch Mordechai. There's a sigula on Purim. When you're a little shatui, my Rebbe once taught me, and I don't try this. Only under extreme duress. Rav Nisim Peretz, Zechez Zeracha, was a big mikubal. Rosh Yeshivat Masad Sharim. On Purim, this is what my Rebbe told me. He used to take a cup. He didn't drink a lot. He put a little bit of beer, wine, vodka, scotch, tequila. What else is there? Rum. Thank you. Rum. He put everything inside, and he took a bourbon too, and he took one shot. After that, he wouldn't. That was his. That's what I heard. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but
We should try.
you know, the Lithuanian in me is always very skeptic.
How long
But
did he live for again?
he passed away, unfortunately, a couple of years ago from cancer.
No, how old was he?
I don't think he was more than 75.
Oh,
Yeah. But he was a very big tzaddik. A lot of people were only zochet to learn the secrets of the Torah because of him. He brought them in. So he was a very big tzaddik, and he used to give one shot. Kol ha-nitzotzot, he used to say. Ani motzit kol ha-nitzotzot. I'm doing all the holy sparks in one shot. But the Chalban says the secret of the Purim is not lebasu, made to the point of shichrut. The shichrut means you have to understand the meaning, and I spoke about this yesterday and the time before. How come Baruch Mordechai and Arur Haman is really the same thing? I'm explaining to you in a second. I'm going to explain to you guys what's 120 men of the Great Assembly. How come it's very important? And I gave this in my shiur before. I don't know if you guys remember.
120 years old.
Yeah.
2 times 120, yeah, Amalek.
120.
Amalek, that's true. But remember, what name of Hashem has 120 configurations? Elohim. If you take the name Elohim, 5 letters, if you take every possible configuration, you're going to get exactly 120 names of Elohim. Exactly. Right? Eliyahu Hanavi, we do Motzei Shabbos to counter this 130 times. There's a Sigulan Motzei Shabbat to say Eliyahu Hanavi Zachor Latov 130 times. Because Eliyahu is also 5 letters. Eliyahu, right? That's 120 supposed to be. No, we do 130 to counter it. Right? But this Shem Elohim, the whole world stands on these Shemot Elohim. 120 of them. If I had the Siddur in front of me, I'll show you the picture. Right? How do they work? The 120 men of the, not the Siddur, that's a special Siddur. 120 men of the Anshei Knesset Hagdolah, each one stood for one Shem Elohim. That's crazy stuff. You're not gonna use this anywhere in your life.
One letter or one Shem?
One Shem. One seruf, it's called. One seruf. Says Rabbeinu Ha'ari, at the end of the day, 115 stay in the world of Atzilut. The world of Biriya, Yetzirah, and Asiyah only get life from how many of them? 5 exactly. Out of all the Anshei Knesset Hagdolah, how many of them do we have exactly their story? 5. Who are they? Chagai, Zachariah, Malachi, Ezra, Nehemiah, which are one book. And who's the 5th one? Huh? Mordechai. These 5 give life to the whole Biriya, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. These 5 tzaddikim. And what's the sad thing? These 5 books are the least learned in Judaism.
This is
Who learns Chagai, Zachariah, Malachi?
Because it's Chokhmah.
Because it's a hidden. It's exactly. It's shtika, but it has to be revealed to the malchut. It's very hard to do that. You understand? We all say Torah emet, Moshe emet, Moshe. How do you reveal Moshe? I want to reveal Moshe through Purim, through Mordechai, through sweeping the Mansapach. Now, I want to give you guys, so you guys understand, to reveal HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you need Gvura. You can't say, I'm just Chesed. Like Rav Arush, you know Rav Shalom Arush? He says, as a guy says in his life, I'm going to be a monk. I'm going to go to the mountain. I'm going to stay in a mountain. I'm going to learn all my life. I'm going to stay there. And that's it. He says, this guy, when he dies, is going to go one place. Gehenom.
Why?
Gehenom. Why is that? He says, because the point of your life is not to stay hidden. Is to be revealed. So you might ask, what about those 36 hidden tzaddikim? They have no choice. They want to be revealed. But nobody wants to reveal them. Everybody thinks they're slopinky. You know what I mean?
We're not ready for it.
We're not ready for it. Or we're not ready for it. You understand? But the point of your life is to reveal your Torah. Like I didn't want to come give tonight's shiur, but then I said, listen, Mordechai yatzam lifnei amela b'levush malchut ateret zahav. You understand?
You said the matter of Chokhmah, which is hidden.
Has to be revealed through Bina to the left column, and only the conjoining of them together is the true point. Is the true point of Yahadut. I'll explain to you in one sentence, and you're gonna get it. There's two main mitzvahs in Judaism. If you're gonna put it down, no, Puravu is one time you do it. You have a boy, you have a girl, Shalom Aleichem. All right. Talmud Torah, and what's the second one?
Prayer?
Davening. You got two both. Right? What takes most of the day of a Jew? Talmud Torah and Tefillah.
Yeah.
Talmud Torah and Tefillah. Talmud Torah is Chokhmah. Tefillah is what? Bina. That's why, what does the Ari HaKadosh say? After you finish davening, what's the first thing you should do? Learn a little bit. You need to conjoin them together. They have to be connected. What's Shalom Bait, guys? What's Shalom Bait? Your Chokhmah, your wife is Bina. Live together. Shalom Aleichem. You guys get the point? What's your teeth, says the Ari? What's your teeth? The top teeth is Chokhmah. The bottom teeth is Bina. When you eat your food, is the Zivuk, Chokhmah, and Bina. Just taught you a Kavanah. Yes. That's why another name for Zivuk is Ochelet. Eating. What do you do when you go out on a date? You go to eat. Why? It's a very sensitive thing. It's a very, you know what I mean? That's why the Gemara says you can't be an ed at a wedding if they see you eating outside. There is a I think it's a Tosfot. Right. Don't quote me. I learned it a long time ago. Right? There is a Manda Amar that says if they catch you eating outside, you can't be an ed at a wedding.
What do you mean eating outside?
I don't know, fast food. You go buy in the store, people see you eat outside. You're eating this and you can't be an ed at a wedding. You don't have tzniut, you cannot be an ed. You know what I'm talking about. Right? I don't remember. I think it's a Tosfot actually. Now that I ended you.
Because it's when you walk in the eat, no?
It doesn't say that in the Tosfot. That's already mefarshim. They say when you eat, because everybody eats in the restaurants already. You know what I mean? But there is why. How does the Gemara say a person chasam catches his wife chimichangas? Ra'ua misaperet. They saw her talking. It's a clean way of saying the other thing. Right? Because it's the idea of using your mouth, of connecting. It's Chokhmah and Bina. What else is Chokhmah and Bina? Very simple. A person who teaches his children. You teach them how to learn Torah. The father teaches them how to learn Torah. And the Ima gives them chinuch. You understand? You guys heard that the rabbi gave birth to a baby at 88 years old?
Yes.
You heard about that?
Yeah.
Huh?
80.
How's that possible?
No.
He's 88. I'm sorry to say this. 88. She's 50. She's 50 or 57? 56 she was.
What?
Yeah.
56 is what? 56 times 5 is how much? Mansapach. 280. Alright? So, big time for. So, what happened? Today he went to get a bracha from Rabbi Sternbach. He's the editor, the 88-year-old Rosh Yeshiva. He went to his rabbi, Rav Sternbach, who I think is like 90 something already. Hashem yarich yamav he goes to him. I saw the video today, so he sent to me, and He says, Mazal Tov Rebbe, you gave me a bracha. He's the Eretz Eidah Charidit in Yerushalayim. You gave me a bracha that I should have a kid. He's like, I don't know if it was my bracha, he tells him. He's like, no, I don't know. It was your bracha, he says. He says to him, bless me that my kid is going to be a Talmid Chacham. So he says, you don't give a bracha. Rav Shalom Gadaev tells him, you don't give a bracha for these things. To be a Talmid Chacham, you got to do it. That's what he tells him. He doesn't give me a bracha, I should be successful. You have to know, you have to do it. You know, people have this idea. I dive in, I say it, and that's just gonna happen by itself. It doesn't work like that in life. You need Mesirut Nefesh. You need Mesirut Nefesh. Okay, let me tell you guys some minagim from the Chalban HaKadosh. By the way, the Chalban was one of the tzaddikim Mistari. He passed away Tafshin Ayin Chet, or Tafshin Pei Dal. 6 years ago he passed away. Yeah, he was a very, very close to Rav Yosef Dayan. We do tikkunim here on his name. He was very big stuff. If you see him, you would think that he's some kind of what's a chalaba? He's a milkman. He used to make he was a milkman. He used to make milk. Yeah, he had a machleva, and I think in Givatayim.
Yeah, I know him. He was very simple.
Very simple guy. No beard, nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. It's not my. I don't know the whole thing, but maybe I do. But I just want to say. But the Chalaban says over here, and the name. If I find it right now. It says over here. Now, whatever I say over here doesn't mean you gotta do it, but just hear the nice minhagim he used to have. He says over here, Yesh inyan bapurim lilvosh lefachot, at least beged elyon, the kapota. Did I say it right?
White.
The jomeh, the outer jacket.
White.
Exactly. Beged elyon lavan. It should be white. My Rebbe told me it has to be blue. Tchelet. You going with the Chalban?
Tzitzit, we're both.
You going with the Chalban?
With my shrine.
You going with this? He did. That's how he said Beged Elyon. He said Beged Elyon, huh? Blue and white. Maybe after you get drunk, you go with that one. Now, בpurim, לפי הבעל שם טוב, יש להקפיד ללכת למקווה לפני התפילה. I'm just reading whatever he says.
Before.
יש להקפיד, before you hear the Megillah, hit the mic. The mic, hit the mic. By hitting the mic, you can knock out the Mickey Mouse. Alright? You know, they're still hiding. Today, Baruch Hashem, they killed one of the top three, four of them.
Yes.
One of the big ones. He went to Gehenom. He went to Gehenom. Gehenom is too good for him. He went already. He's next to Yoshka inside Tzoharot Tachat over there. Alright? Yeah. Exactly. No, that's when he's about sure. He passed Yoshka even. So he says over here, לפי הערי, according to the Chalban, לפי הערי, מתחילה הערת ליל פורים בלילה. Already in the night is the full Ha'arat Purim, and you have an Et Ratzon from the second you start hearing the Megillah. He says, don't be complacent. Don't think you heard the Megillah. I don't do Mishloach Mano, I don't do a Sugudah, I don't need it. It means just during the Megillah I did the mitzvah and that's it. It went away. No, he says no. Matchila. It says Chidush, by the way. It says Chidush. From the Ari, it doesn't sound like that. But listen, I'll take the Chalban's word for it. I like it. זה עיקר המצווה על ידי קריאת המגילה, עיקר המצווה של גילוי יסוד האהבה הוא על ידי קריאת המגילה. The biggest mitzvah on that day, that means the biggest ha'ara, the biggest revealment is the Megillah itself. Why? Megillah, so remember I said the Yesod of Abba, we're revealing the Yesod of Abba, which is Mordechai and Moshe, right? So the Yesod of Abba is Gematria 78. Why? It's 3 times Yud Kei Vav Kei. So 26 times 3, Yud Kei Vav Kei, is going to be what? 7. I just want to let you guys know, when if you hear it over here, you're on 78th Avenue. So, Yesh Inyan Bazeh. Yesh Inyan Bazeh. There's no coincidence. Because he has the Havaya from Haiset, from Kav Yamin, he has that because it's the Yesod, he gets all the Kavim. He gets all the Kavim inside of him, right? So 3 times Havaya is going to be Megillah. So when the Chazan opens up the Megillah, people don't know this stuff. But when he opens up the Megillah, he opens it's like a big Vav, right?
Yeah.
He has to think, this is 3 times Havaya, right? It's 3 times Havaya. It's a very big thing. Next, Okay, so Ikar Huayekevin. So the Megillah is the big one. That's why everybody's going crazy to hear the Megillah. And then how do you keep the Ha'ara? Huayde Mishloach Manot, Matanot Le'Evunim, Ve'Seudat HaPurim, right? Now it says over here, Yesh Sigula Yidua Meha Admor Minadvorna. It was a big Rebbe, very big Sigula, Ligmor Tihilim Bapurim.
Okay.
To complete it, yeah. To complete the whole thing, I'm Purim. It's a big Sigula, Bayom. And the day, it says over here, right?
I heard different from Mikubal. When you come home after night meeting.
Do you have his name?
Do you
have his name? No, next. Alright, we only deal with stuff with names over here.
All names.
Alright,
His name is
Sam said, listen, it could be. Listen, I remember Gabriel Chai.
Charlie.
Yes. I remember that one time, couple of years before I was married, there was a rabbi over here. He made an all-night seder. Not all-night, a couple of hours seder. Everybody comes to learn, gets $36. I was a yeshiva guy at that time. We went, we learned. It was nice. We all went. I think I want to do this here today. These don't have $36 a year, but yeah, whatever. Sponsorships, yeah. But yesh inyan lilmod Torah that night. I think over there it speaks about that too. To learn Torah the whole night, no? You give the kind of chidush ones. So that's what I heard once, right?
After Chatzot, you know?
No, he says you could even finish it after Chatzot. It's fine, right? He says over here, what's next? I want to read you guys just the main points. He says, Yesh sigula biduka o minuseh, to hold your own kosher Megillah. Your own. You have one? Sorry, next year. Alright? Well, it's still time, by the way. There's still time. There's still time. Average Megillah was 1500? 1500. No, 1500. No, less? 3000? Average $3,000.
I think so. Can afford.
Oh, it's the best one for you.
Learn for sale, right
Haim yesh inyan, slicha, young man, Haim yesh, you're looking at me? Haim yesh inyan b'seudat pat gam b'leil Purim. Is there an inyan also to make a seudah on the night of Purim? Yesh kaze inyan, maybe some kind of inyan, maybe. What do you say? Ken, he says. Yes.
Is this Friday?
Come on. Still, yeah.
He's working very good.
Alright, one more. Three more or one more? Three more, right? More, huh?
Read the Megillah at night. Why shouldn't we do this without night?
But the mitzvah is in the yom.
Ayom.
To reveal it, you gotta in the daytime, light.
Yeah. I like it. Abraham is chesed. He likes the light. He likes the light.
Left me trying in the light.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that today. Wow. You reminded me those chidushim. Unfortunately, I can't get to it already. Sorry, it's already late. I cannot. Next week we still have one more week before Purim. Maybe we talk about it if I remember. It's just beautiful chidushim about Evan Maasua Boni Maitala Rosh Pina. Anyways, no chashuv. It says over here. On Purim, is it a mitzvah dafka to drink red wine?
Yes. I think yes.
Bapurim en hidur ba'adom, rak ba'pesach. Rak ba'pesach, he writes over here, right? Bapurim, mi she'yayin lo mevi oto lesimcha. Person drinks wine, he's not besimcha. Some people, they drink wine, it gets them actually down, depressed. He said, huh?
You have to smoke.
He has to smoke, you're saying, Chas Shalom. You want a Nadav and Avihu to happen to him, Chas Shalom? He says, ein shum tikun b'shtiyato. This guy and a guy who doesn't get besimcha, he's patur.
Huh?
He's patur. If a person drinks yain and he gets the opposite of simcha, he's patur. Huh? He's not obligated to drink. He's not making the tikkun when he's doing it.
Or if
Right?
if you know that happens to you, then you're patur.
Yeah, patur. And how much should you drink until you're really mekayim the mitzvah? Ad shu lo mitbayesh lirkod.
Until the bells.
He's not afraid to dance in front of people. I think it's a given what you're saying.
Three drinks, man. Come on.
See, okay, maybe three, that's the amount. I'm just a shaliach over here. I'm reading to you what the Chalban says. You don't want to have to accept it if you don't want to. Listen, I never force. How do I say it to you? I never force.
Exactly.
Exactly. Alright? It says over here that there is a mitzvah that if a person, if a person drinks on Purim and he starts to get angry. Angry, he starts to get Michigan, he starts to get, why are you doing this? You know, there's people like that. יש כאלו, בבית, יש כאלו. He says, הוא מקלקל. Instead of doing Purim, he's patur bakol mikol kol. Alright? Alright? In the Sudat Purim, he says, המצווה הוא לשתות בתוך הסעודה. When is the mitzvah? To drink in the seudah, not outside, not in the middle of shaharit. You're gonna go and take up a.
Can you start
If you see people doing it, don't judge them. Maybe they're doing it in hachana.
Preparation.
Maybe when do you start?
Preparation.
When do you start?
Huh?
Do you start after the night Megillah? The evening Megillah?
No, in the morning. The seudah, in the seudah.
Wait, you don't need to do that night?
He said there's a bit of a mitzvah to do it at night, but the shichrut, no, the shichrut is for sure in the morning. It's in the morning. It's in the morning.
Is this supposed to be?
If you ask me, the way to really do the mitzvah, you gotta get 10, 20 guys that are really people who love to learn Torah. That like to learn. You finish the Megillah. He right away does mishloach marot, each one to each other. They pick one gabait tzedakah for matanot le'evyonim. And right away they bring in the lechem, do thing, and all the time, little, lebasume, you know, they just mitbasmim and they talk Torah, mitzvot, not like Achashverosh, they drink and they talk about chimichangas. We don't need those kind of guys, right? Huh? Yom Rishon, Motzei Shabbat Kodesh, right? Huh? If you have to daven vatikim, he mentions it over here. He says, Yesh inyan, he says. Yesh inyan lavida ha'ara early in the morning. So you see everybody according to his capabilities, right? Yesh inyan le'echol dagim baboker. He had the Chalban had an inyan to eat fish in the morning. He says over here, I want to get to the point over here. One more. He says those people who are outside of Yerushalayim or the people who do the Shushan Purim, that's us. Our Purim is just a tip of what the Purim is of the 15th day. That means those guys who are doing Purim, that's according to him. People who are doing Purim on the Shushan Purim, they really get the Hara. Because that's why Yesh Inyan to make 2 Seudas, he said. One in the morning, and then like the Hasidim do in the afternoon, they do it, and to go into Shushan Purim, to get that Hara, Yesh Inyan Gam Lazeh.
Some people do that too, no?
Huh?
Tel Aviv, Jerusalem.
Some people do that too, that's true, but we are not going to Tel Aviv.
I'm saying,
I mean to Yerushalayim. We're not going to Yerushalayim, so maybe, you know,
make Yerushalayim come to us.
Yeah, you eat it into the night, and you also get the Hara of Shushan Purim. Last one.
Question from the side.
He says over here, yes, Tariq. In the what? Eruv?
Eruv.
I don't think that has anything to do with it, right? Because in Eruv is not a walled city.
You need to drink extra.
Right. Maybe if you start seeing the walls, maybe that's something. Okay, last one over here. He says, Yesh mitzvah b'Purim lekabel al atzmacha ol haTorah. To accept upon yourself again, like they did back then, the yoke of Torah. Like I'm accepting upon myself again, like they did back then, to learn Torah.
You see that
Torah Sheba'al Peh, Yom Kippur, Yom Kippurim. Yeah, Bli Neder we do. And may we all accept upon ourselves the yoke of Torah this year again. May we be zocheh at least b'machshava to mekayem mitzvah Purim. May this year we see ניסים נפלאות, גאולה שלמה, ברכה והצלחה, זיווגים הגונים, שעות גדולות וכל הברכות, פרנסה בשפע וחסד, אמן. רבי חנניה בן עקשיא אומר